And we're rolling. Okay, so hello and welcome back to the Altature campaign. I am Nineveh, your host and GM as always, and with me is just Kathea this time.
Hello, this is Kathea.
Righto. So last time we had just scenarios, and this time we're going to do just Kathea's dark season because this is Kathea's High Holy Day. Okay, let's go through a brief recap. What have you been doing, like kind of between the last adventure and now? We're kind of picking up an early dark season, so the weather is starting to get pretty cold. The nights are definitely longer than the days. You're beginning to get a little snow on the ground. Everything's freezing up as far as like the rivers go. And you've had your holy day is on like the second week of the season, so it's not that deep into it, but you have a little time to kind of have been doing some stuff,
Okay.
just everyday stuff.
She has got her magical gem bound into a necklace. We had that worked. And did we do the wedding last time?
No, we're gonna do it in storm season,
Okay.
so it'll be next session.
So she is prepping whatever she needs to have available for that. I don't know that she has to have too much as far as a new fancy dress or anything that's really fit her.
Probably not too much. Yeah.
Yeah. And then her main thing, she'll be working around family stead and Solinarios' stead a bit. But I would say the majority of her time, or the largest group of time, will be spent at the temple, working at the temple, just being connected with it. If there's, I assume there's enough to do, doing upkeep. It needs that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's one of the permanent people that lives in the area. So she devotes a lot of energy and time to keeping that up.
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, you'd be doing that. You would probably get assigned to some night patrols as well, which is a temple service.
Right.
You would also kind of do double duty for fulfilling your role as a warrior of your clan to go on patrols.
She could also be training in the Feared or whatever if we're doing some of that this time of year, since she's I guess she's a thing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right. So you've kind of been patrolling around a little bit, temple work, a bit of wedding prep. Makes sense. So as the day gets a little closer, so as you're kind of moving through into the second week, you do get like a steady trickle of Yelornans in who are showing up for the High Holy Day. One thing to note is that even though this is your most important holiday, right? Most of the temple, like most of your initiates, are still not going to be here. It's just you serve a huge area. Travel is difficult, and you have several minor priestesses or a couple of rune ladies who are just going to stay out, and they'll lead local services at a shrine or a holy place wherever they are, basically, to kind of handle some of that.
Let's say if we need to for space, I guess one of the other things she would have been doing is setting up so we have enough space for anybody here that's larger than our temple.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah. There's going to be some hosting. You're going to have a fairly large crowd, but we're talking maybe 100 people.
That's pretty good. That's what,
which is a fair chunk of your cult.
Is everybody that comes to this pretty much an initiate, or do we have people that are still more of a lay member type associate that are still as interested?
Almost everybody who's not from your clan is going to be an initiate. Your clan can afford to furnish a few lay members because the temple is so close, so that sort of casual association is easy. But most lay members wouldn't have the wherewithal to travel in dark season for this. So so you'll have a few, but there'll be people that you know from your clan, so who aren't necessarily interested.
She is out there. She's being a good example, recruiting young ladies into it.
Could you say that again?
I said she is probably being an example, recruiting young ladies into it too. Probably have a fair number.
Yep, that makes sense.
That might be interested that are coming of age but not there yet. And considering she's been out and about and had an adventure or two, she can say, "Hey, look at this. This is another way."
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes perfect sense. So a little recruiting, add that to the list of things you're doing. So as
she doesn't actively recruit, I don't really see us being that way. We're not going to go out and try to convince like people aren't into it. Yeah, you got to be kind of hardcore.
You're not proselytizing. You're just out there being cool. And people are like, "Oh, I could be cool like that, maybe." Oh, that makes sense. So this will go on for a bit. You're still, like I said, you're still getting an influx of people coming in, and there are quite a few of them, but a few people that you'll either recognize or that you'll kind of associate with over time. Like Harala, who is from your clan, she's a shield maiden. Okay. So obviously she's around. She's like, you roam, you go on adventures and things. Like she pretty much lives at the temple.
What's her name? Oh, Harala.
Harala, like Harala.
Yep.
She's a
on
couple
our
years older
list.
than you. You know her. And she's a shield maiden, so she stays at the temple full time.
She is a shield maiden. Still, they're an initiate, but they're
She's
just
an initiate like you. She just has a different role.
Yep.
Like you would be a wanderer, essentially. You you are associated with the temple, but you go out and do things, right? Like you go on adventures, you rove and do quests and stuff. Like she just stays at the temple full time. She helps with rituals. She guards the temple. She does a lot of the upkeep and things. So you would be working with her quite a bit.
I've got
She's
two other names down here.
pretty
too.
serious, Like you have what?
Yep. I said, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So she's there. Obviously,
I was only
Cultus
noting
is
I
there.
have two other.
Yes, Cultus would be one. That's your temple priestess. She's obviously there. She does a lot of.
Is she
stuff.
there all the time?
Yeah. I mean, she might leave occasionally to go tend like a shrine somewhere in Aldichur, but she's pretty much full time at the temple. The other one is Marina. She is in her like late 20s, so positively ancient to your character, painfully so. She is, and we've kind of talked to her. She's from your clan. She will probably never become like a rune lord or anything. Most people don't. She's kind of settled into a role, being like the sergeant or like shield bearer or attendant of the Star Lady Janala, who is a rune lord of your cult from Southern Sarder.
What's her name?
Janala, Jenala.
Jen. So is Marina out most of the time with?
Yes,
Janala?
she's usually not around, but they're both here for this. Other people you might know kind of come into town. A younger woman named Berra, Berra. She's an initiate from Slave Wall.
What was her name again?
Berra, Berra.
From Slave Wall. She's an initiate.
Yeah. And she's, you make acquaintance with her. She shows up a few days before the rituals. She's a fairly dour, like pretty serious woman. She's just a few years older than you. She actually remembers your brother because he led a raid to free slaves at Slave Wall. That's how he got married.
Take her to visit him if she's there early enough. If she wants to.
Yeah, her impression. She's from Slave Wall, but she doesn't really approve of the slave trade. So she was pleased, basically, that your brother rescued a number of women, particularly. So
good. Somebody should appreciate they did that.
Yeah.
Is Marina the only one from our clan initially?
Marina and Harala.
Harala is too.
Are from your clan, yes. Like the rest, not so much. Like your clan supports a higher than average number of Yelorna cultists, but that still means a number that you can count on one hand.
That's actually fine. I just was checking because I'm adding that to the info.
Yeah, no worries. Another one that you would meet is a lady named Harsta. So Harsta.
Hang on. Say it again.
You're good.
Go ahead.
Okay, Harsta. Harsta. She is from the city of Aldichur, and she's, I don't know, mid-30s. And your impression of her is that she is, old, but she's also like pretty feisty, pretty fiery, pretty fun to be around. Like she's got a definite, like, she's not too serious, right? Like she tells fun stories. Yep. She's here to have a good time, essentially. She's pretty likable.
Is she an initiate?
Yes.
It's not bad making some contacts here, because I mean she's an Aldichur.
Yeah, you're making friends.
Where's
the last person who rolls? Say what?
Go ahead and finish that.
Slave Wall is off the map. No, that's a good question. Slave Wall is a little off the map. If you look at the map, on the wiki, and you kind of see where that trade road's running up, where it's like a dashed road that runs upwards, kind of northwest, and just off the map there, you can see where it's written in that last. So it's kind of
Have we been there?
A couple days travel from you. You have not been to Slave Wall now. You've taken that road, but you stopped.
That's where the elves are somewhere in there. Oh, okay, we're in the stinking forest.
Yeah, the Stinking Forest, the Ivory Plant, that's kind of like the Tusk Rider and Elf area that you were up in. So you were east of it at some point, but you've never been to Slavel, which probably for the best. It's not like a fantastic place. It's not. The last person who kind of comes in sort of just the day before, and you'll have a little competition here if you want to be the one to help them, is a woman named Ala the Silver. So Ala is just ALA. Just got the
Silver.
epithet Silver. She's a rune lady, so a star lady, and a unicorn rider. Yeah,
Jealous.
she's your hero. So she comes into town like in the evening. She's wearing like all gray clothing with some yellow, like pale yellow accents. She's got on like mostly silvered armor. One of her spearheads is iron. As a small cult, you guys sometimes have trouble supplying your rune lords with iron the way that like Orlando can. And she's, astride like this massive unicorn. They're big animals. They're as large as a war horse. And they've got, the big like white horn, the cloven hooves, the lion tail, whole shebang. You may have never seen a unicorn in person before. They're
I don't think I
rare.
have.
Like they're just from your cult, the things that you would definitely know about unicorns are that every unicorn is male. They are immortal unless killed. They don't age, essentially. There are a few small groups of them still in the world, but they're very uncommon. Most people in starter, if they get a unicorn, they'll have to go on a hero quest to bring one back from the god time.
Life goals.
Yeah, right, life goals. So yeah, so this is
Be scared
maybe
to
your
death.
first time actually seeing unicorn. They are pretty fantastic animals. They're like a pale white. They always seem like this one has probably been ridden all day. Looks fairly like freshly groomed, clean. The horn is like pearlescent. It looks very like to you, like when you look at this animal, it looks at you at one point and you're like, you're pretty sure it can think and have thoughts and is intelligent. Like it looks like a person, just a horse person. So, which is kind of maybe a lot to take in. You don't have a ton of experience with it's some, right? They're not super rare.
Still pretty.
Cool.
She
So
hasn't
if
been
you
out that much. She's had exciting trips
yeah,
to
she's
places within a couple days' ride,
no, that's true. You're not wrong.
which is more than probably most our clan. Lots.
Yeah, as far as adventuring goes, travel maybe further sometimes, but not
Yeah.
necessarily on adventures for sure. Okay, so Ala rolls into town, and obviously she's a big deal. There are only a handful of unicorn riders. There are only a handful of rune ladies. Star ladies and unicorn riders are not synonymous. You can be an initiate and have a unicorn. You can be a star lady and not have a unicorn. And so there aren't very many people in the cult who are both. It's a pretty rarefied air.
Neat.
So if you want to kind of push your way to the forefront of that, if you want to help her or something, you would try to make like a role here of some sort. If you wanted to,
Let's make a roll here. Let's make a
Yeah.
roll here to somehow connect and get up close and see the unicorn and see her.
right. So I'm willing to take suggestions on skills based on your approach.
Let's see. I mean, if we're using a communication skill, I'm trusting towards dumb luck, but that might be the only thing I can do. Or
Dumb luck.
if I
You
can
have some
use my
communication skills.
passions, I do, but they're not great. I don't
Yeah, you're not
roll
wrong.
directly against passions for anything, do I?
You can, but
Rare.
it would be uncommon. It would mostly occur in certain magical or hero quest type situations. Let's see.
Then I think
You could, you could roll like a devotion or a loyalty boost one of
I'm
your
definitely
social
doing
skills,
that.
or you could roll one of your runes to do that.
Can't do both though. Well, let's figure out skill first, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna boost it with.
Makes sense. So yeah, so you have a couple of options. You can try to like sidle in, right? Just kind of be like, I got ahead of the crowd. That would be more of a stealthy
Yeah.
approach. Kind of just pop in. You could try to be, charming, right? That's a skill you have is charm.
Yeah.
You
I
could and just like catch her eye, be pleasing, pleasant, and connect that way. You have orate a little. tiny bit.
This
Um,
seems out of place for a
it
like
is
kind
that
of
would be
just
pretty braggadocious. Um,
yeah, considering
you
who
have
I am
access
and who
to
she is.
sing, like so. Perhaps you have a pleasing voice that draws the attention.
Let's
Let's
try
see.
that.
You have okay,
Well,
cool.
I don't know. I'm actually still getting her. This is an interesting one because she's kind of dumbstruck. So I think actually after I say that, doing a stealth type thing just to kind of get up close and all, I think she's a little too dumbstruck to try to speak out. She just wants to get up close,
Right. Okay, that
kind
makes
of put
sense.
herself in a position. And then I would like to use, I'd actually like to use her devotion, Yelorna, if I can, as a passion, not just because it's the highest. It seems to fit the best because it's really
No, for sure.
specific about the temple. So
Yeah,
I
no,
roll
that's
it first.
you would roll the passion first. I need to look up the rules real quick for this because
That's fine. And I made a basic success.
okay. Well, a basic success isn't. I can do this. So what you're rolling for is an inspiration. So you'll roll that skill, which you just did. You got
Yep.
a regular success.
Yep.
So because you're feeling your devotion to Yelorna, you're drawn to this like rune lady
Yep.
of hers, this unicorn, all these things associated with her. So you're leaning on that devotion to try and get closer because it's for you, it's an act of worship.
Right.
To be in their presence, and so you push. You channel that devotion into your stealth so that you can kind of like
Slip through the
without
crowd.
disturbing the scene, right? You're trying to be
Yep.
respectful and you know
Yep.
modest, demure, stay in your lane, whatever, um, all that stuff. And because you succeeded, you'll put an experience check in your passion, and you'll add 20%
Yep.
to that skill. Cool. And then you'll roll the skill, and we'll
Ooh,
see if
that's a
you're
big
able
one at
to
my level.
be sneaky.
Wait, am I using hide or move quietly? They're the
This would be
exact
move
same
quietly.
percentage, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think move quietly because you're actually like moving
That's
about,
fine.
you're trying to get in close and stuff.
Well, I rolled the exact same number I rolled before, but unfortunately that's a failure even with my bonus.
Doesn't help. Okay. All right. So what happens there then is just that you are, like you said, you're a little awestruck. You get a little too focused on the worshipful aspects and the like, oh, this is amazing, and you just don't move quickly.
Yep.
So you
Everybody
sort of
else
just get
moves there.
outbeat to it. So you end up like watching things, and seeing some stuff, but you don't actually manage to get in there, and that's all right. You'll have other chances to socialize. This isn't your only shot at making friends and whatnot. So yeah, so that
I got
happens
a
there.
side question. Are we doing checks when we fail skills or only when we succeed?
It's usually going to be successes and fumbles.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you
I was
don't
thinking
usually
just
get checks for failure. I'm not sure you're supposed to get checks from fumbles, but I want to give checks for fumbles. So
I'm fine with that.
yeah, but generally, yeah, you have to succeed at things to get checks on them. Either do well or do terribly is my advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Okay, so yeah, so you give that a try, but you end up just kind of seeing some things, and she has a couple of attendants to help her, and that moment kind of passes. So, all right, as you get into the evening before the ritual, so you'll have that day, like the next day, to get around for things.
Hmm.
What sort of preparation are you going to want to do? Like, do you take time to get ready? Do you take certain items with you? Do you spend time meditating to kind of center your mind? Do you wear any sort of special clothing? Do you take your armor? Do you take weapons?
That's a question. Some of these I want to make sure I do the right thing.
Yes.
So I would think if it's appropriate, since we're a warrior cult, to wear armor and carry weapons in as part of it, I would do that. But if it's
It
out
would
of
be.
place, it
Weapons,
would be
particularly like a bow and a spear, would be almost mandatory.
okay.
And I didn't ask these questions to trip you up. I was going to give you guidance if you were leaning another way. I'm not
Okay.
playing gotchas. Just to be clear, like I'm not like,
Yep.
yeah, I didn't say bow, so you screwed. Like, that's not usually how I
No.
like to do things. But
Yeah.
yeah. So a spear and a bow would be very on brand for your Lorna.
Yep.
If you had like a sword or something, you should probably leave it at home. Armor is acceptable but optional. So if you're wearing your robes and things, you're probably making a sort of statement about worshiping Yelorna more for her like priestly properties, right? So
I would
as
think.
as a star goddess, if you're wearing your armor, you're making more of a devotion to being her as a war goddess.
I'm going to wear my armor because she's both a war goddess and I'm a Thane, and
Right.
I'm taking that role up. I will make sure that my both my magic point crystal, which I thought we mounted it somewhere, but I didn't write it down, and my new starstone necklace is out and visible, as well as my elf bead, which is always woven into my braid, and
Mhm.
my elven coin purse, which I'll have open because we're friends of elves, and I'm making a statement about the things I've done in the last year, trying to do it by what I show because I'm too young and inexperienced to sit there and brag about it. I mean, at least not at the
Right.
main part.
No, I
So
get you. No, it makes
she
sense.
she will adorn herself to appear, nice, clean, freshly braided, and freshly, everything freshly washed and done, but also as a warrior, that has things she's brought back from rewards from her travels, and
Mhm.
make sure that everybody's aware that she's out there doing stuff.
No, that makes sense. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. So you're definitely dressed to impress. We would say, like you're showing off your victories and your associations, right? Like you like being an elf friend is a good thing in the cult.
Yep,
Like
the
it's
elf one.
impressive. Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense. Cool. All right. So you'll take time
Yeah.
to like bathe and clean things and polish stuff and get everything just so and in order. How do you wear your hair, by the way? I'm kind of curious about this. I have a good sense of what Scenarios' general dress looks like.
She's got long hair, but she braids it back into different braids to keep it
Okay,
out of her face.
makes sense.
Sometimes, frequently, when we're going out for a long time, it'll be just a single long braid.
Mm,
But she braids in different symbols, cult and clan, whatever symbolizes that. Now she's got the elven one.
okay, cool.
Around here, she'll probably go more like a double braid or something a little more stylistic, but she'd want it a little more out of her way out in the field.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool, awesome, nice. Sounds good. So then we'll move on to the next bit of this. So as you get done being prepared, you get done getting your stuff ready, and once you're set up, like as it gets towards dusk, so as the sun starts to set, that's really when people will start showing up for the holy day. It's more of a holy night, really. You do most of your rituals in starlight. So when you show up to the
So we're there
temple, there
pretty
will
much all night.
yeah, exactly. When you show up to the temple at the hilltop, there will already be people there at the top of the mound and more initiates kind of flowing in. There are quite a few people here. Like I said, you have 100 or so people, initiates and up attending, including several rune level people. Um, there's an actual unicorn here. You have pretty much all of your clan's lay members, so another 15 or so people who are kind of hanging out. It's kind of funny. Your clan has fewer lay members than you would expect because your clan is already matriarchal, so there's like less
Right.
need for refuge for women. Like it's not like the cult often offers women a place to go who need it, but you have less need for that. It's so it's kind of a funny thing where it's like your clan is very accepting of your temple, but your temple has less like immediate purpose as a result for the clan, which is just kind of a neat bit. In any event, people kind of are showing up. A lot of people again are dressed nicely. There's a lot of silver on display. Pretty much everybody is carrying at least a bow, even if it's on their back. Quite a few people also have spears. Not everybody is armored, but everybody is armed to at least some degree.
But I got two
Okay,
questions for you,
so
and I'm
go ahead.
looking at the old original write-up. Number one, there can be Aldriami members. Are there any?
I didn't actually catch
Are
all
we all
that.
human? There can be Aldriami
It's a good question.
initiates.
That's a good question that I did not consider.
If there
Let
aren't,
me.
I'm sorry.
No, there are definitely a few elves here. Just a
Likewise,
few.
there
We're
can be
talking like 3 or
men.
4. Yeah.
There can be men initiates.
Yes,
They're
those
rare,
are
but
less common. Um,
yes.
for a number of reasons. The cult doesn't offer much for most
Nope.
men. You might have one, maybe
I
one
was
man here.
only asking.
Yeah.
Don't feel the need to put them
No,
there
you're
if they
good.
aren't. I didn't even realize it until I reread the call. I'm like, oh,
Right.
men
No,
can
you can't
join.
have men. It's just that men can't really advance past initiate,
Yep.
and they also can't be unicorn riders, so there's not a
It's
lot
not a
of
huge.
draw. The
Yep.
primary reason you would want to be a man in the cult is because you want access to actual fire magic, and you're willing to put up with a lot to get it. So people with the I mean, just in general, like you're
Yeah.
never going to be a rune lord, you're never going to be a priest, you're never going to be a god talker. You know, you're not like the most powerful end of the cult is not available to you. But if you really want to know how to like cast meteor bow and fire arrow, like you get some of that. It's not as common, but yeah, you would have like one man there who's not from around here, because almost every man with a strong fire rune would just end up in the Yamelio temple otherwise. And you would have like a handful of elves, and they would honestly gravitate towards you for at least part of this because you're clearly marked as an elf friend.
That's why I asked that one. The
Yes,
men
which is
was kind
something
of
that they
attack
take.
on in the end.
I should have thought about it. I don't know why I didn't think about it. But yeah, so there's definitely a few elves there. There's not many,
Cool.
or
That's fine.
just a handful, but they do spend some time with you.
Gives me time to socialize with elves.
Yeah, and you can, and like as people are showing up in dusk, so like right as the sun, as soon as the sun touches the horizon, you have from like there until the sun actually goes down to socialize. So about an hour ish before it gets properly dark out.
I have something I want to add to that.
Mhm.
Since I would know elves are coming or possibly coming, I assume we have some sort of meal or something ahead of time, and I would offer them. Make sure we try to have something that's appropriate for them.
Okay, I didn't catch that last bit. I'm not. You might
Oh,
double
I
check
said,
your equipment at this point because I've said that a few times. But it looks like you're running your Focusrite stuff.
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
I can give you more about.
maybe do that, and I'll give myself
that
more volume
helps.
too. So I'm hearing. I think so.
Did that help at all? I can move it a little too.
I would. Yeah, keep it fairly high because it'll equalize, and I can always run it down a little bit, and I'll run my volume up all the way. So
as long as I'm not clipping. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So what I was saying is, if I know that the elves are going to be coming, I would make sure, I assume we do a snack or meal or something ahead of time, that we have something appropriate for them. Basically, I would just try to give myself a little bit of the extra connection there.
No, that makes sense. You could definitely bring some sort of like leaf and fruit situation.
Just make sure it's available.
Yeah, for sure. So of these elves, the most senior one is an elf named, Starleaf, obviously, and she has a few others with her.
She's kind of like,
yeah, she'd be the most senior initiate. So she looks reasonably human. Most like she's clearly made of like wood and plant matter, but she hews fairly closely to the human body plan. Like she's not like a gnarled mass of branches that just kind of vaguely resemble a person. Like she looks fairly human.
Oh, good. I'll be glad to make her acquaintance.
She is pleased to meet you as well. She's interested pretty quickly to know like how you came across your status.
I will be happy to give her the entire story when we have time, and I'll go ahead and do it now if we can.
Yeah, you definitely have time to tell her basically like, oh yeah, this elf named this showed up and we helped him with that tree project.
I was going to try to orate to impress
Definitely,
her.
yeah, 100%.
I'd like to boost it if I can.
It would be
maybe moon, because we did that
your moon
overnight
rune?
with. I don't know. That might be. Yeah, that might be stretching it. It was just an idea that kind of kicked in. I'll just, if it's tricky and it doesn't work, let's just go ahead and I'll just try orate.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Oh, nope, I failed. I rolled a very low 30s, but I only got 27 total.
Alas. Okay, so you get, you don't like wreck anything.
Fail.
Like
no, I just don't.
You have a good conversation. Yeah, she thinks it's the good thing for you is that the merits of what you were doing are apparently fairly impressive. Like apparently whatever. Roll insight. Roll your elf insight skill actually.
Oh, that's worse.
I know it's terrible, but just give it a try.
I'm looking. Where the heck is that? I didn't fumble. I just failed.
So all you get from this exchange is that you are friendly and polite, and she seems to like you, and you tell her your story, and while she doesn't seem super impressed, like she does seem, like you did. She approves of your status. Like you definitely did something worth being an elf friend over. So that's good. So you make a good acquaintance here. You don't
Yeah.
like fully stick the landing, but you didn't like fall off the beam or anything. Like you're fine. So cool. So you spend some time with her and her attendants. They're all carrying elf bows, obviously. They have spears. They're not heavily armored for this, so that
Right.
might just be their way. Elves don't tend to wear as much armor as humans in the first place. Yeah, elf bows are super sick, and you can't have one. So
Uh,
we may be revisiting that because I think that RuneQuest Chlorantha's rules for Eldria cultists that are human is way, way too harsh. But that's an aside. That's something for another day. Okay, so
yep.
you have time to
That's fun.
socialize with the elves. You have some time to socialize with the other people that are here a little bit. You can definitely pick out faces and talk to them. It would be pretty easy, and that will give you some introductions to the wider circle of people that are here. This is your first High Holy
Okay.
Day, so you are pretty new.
Oh yeah. This is our first year still, so we've done okay.
Oh, for sure. You have both more or less succeeded at pretty much everything you've tried to do, and you've been fairly ambitious in what you've tried to tackle. Big year. All right, so as this kind of goes on, people are talking and chattering. As it gets darker, that starts to trail off. You have like this at the center of this is a big like dish that's supported by a pillar that is always on fire. Like it's always burning. There's always a fire in it. As this goes on, the way that things start to kind of quiet down is that Colchis and her attendants start to pass out. Like they start lighting candles off that fire and then handing them out. And so as you receive a candle, then you like that person then quiets down and kind of backs out into kind of they start forming up in like a circle around the temple. So you'll have like your initiates and rune level people kind of in an inner circle, and you'll have your like lists, your lay members and things kind of out further on that. But you kind of form up into the circle. People start to get quiet. The candles burn pretty brightly, and as this sort of like things start to get quiet and calm, some of this stuff is going to happen in like smallish groups. Do you have anyone you want to stand next to or stay with?
Now I have things to think about. Uh,
You don't have to think hard about it. You could be impulsive, right?
I could be impulsive. Wouldn't mind unless somehow it'd be one of the initiates. Probably just Starleaf and the elves. If it was something else, no, that makes as much sense as anything. Since we were already talking and connecting, I'm not gonna like walk off
Mhm.
and leave them. That would
Okay,
seem rude.
so you'll right on. I get you. So you'll stay with
Sorry.
the elves for this. No, you're good.
Yep.
All right, you'll stay with the elves. So as
Oh,
things
friends.
sort of go, yeah, friends. Oh no, I just wrote elves. What was I thinking? Terrible. Anyways, so as you guys like move into the circle and people are kind of lining up next to each other, and you can um this would just be a good time to roll like just a general insight roll. So you're human insight this time.
Hey, still not great, but it's better.
It's better.
Oh yeah, I made it. Ha!
Hey, look at that. Okay. So you can see, obviously people are clustering up with who they want to stand next to. Okay, sorry. My computer gave me like a, hey, your connection is not stable, so I paused in my speech so that nothing got eaten. Okay, so people are standing next to who they want to stand to. Like people are kind of organizing themselves and trying to get next to each other, and so you can kind of see
Right.
the layout of how your temple's like clicks break down a little bit. And the main thing that you take away from this is that Colchis doesn't actually have like there aren't that many people fighting to be near her, even though
Huh.
she's your temple priestess. And everyone that
Yeah.
you've talked to seems to respect her, but like and she has people with her, like your temple maidens, your like shield maidens and things. But there is more jostling to get near like the rune ladies, the star ladies. There's even more jostling to get near to the elves.
Wow. I wonder why that is. Actually, with my success, can I take away an idea of why that is?
Yeah. So some of it you think is that so one of the things that your cult kind of has going on and that you're kind of seeing play out is that people who join the cult usually don't want to be the cult support, right? Like the goal of most Yelornans is not to be a priestess; it's to be a
Or
rune lady. Like it's to be an
okay.
adventurer and a hero. And so even though cultists and other priestesses provide important support that is necessary, they're not. So in their Nalda cult, right, the priestesses are the leaders.
Right.
In the Yelorna cult, the priestesses are the logistics,
Makes sense.
and that's not very exciting. So even though Couchess is capable, and even though she's respected, she's not popular. If that, like, she's not. It's not that people don't like her. It's just that she's not what most of the cult is aspiring to be.
Right.
And so that's something to consider, right? Like if you want to rise in the cult, one of the easier ways to do it is to get on well with one of the Star Ladies.
So I blew my chance because I'm not hanging around with the Star Ladies.
Well, you didn't blow your chance, but you're definitely doing your own thing, and that's fine. You know, you're hanging out with elves. You've got other things going on.
I'm watching it. I'm kind of paying attention here because I had thought about trying to connect with one of the Star Ladies here, but I kind of
Mhm.
blew my chance with all, and I think Kathea is feeling a little intimidated probably by all the silver. She's done well, probably done well better in a lot of ways than a lot of the other initiates that are working on their own, but still. No, I'm so Kathea is feeling a little bit, I think, intimidated by all this the silver. It's like she kind of tried to get up there, but she wasn't going to speak up. She's just kind of intimidated. Star Lady Janala, I don't know if I've ever talked to her either, but maybe I have because I feel like she's been here before.
You may have seen her as a child once or twice. I don't know that you've
Okay.
ever. She probably hasn't been around all year. She
So,
usually operates abroad.
so these are the only two Star Ladies around. The other thing I'm kind of feeling is I don't want to become part of their entourage. I want to do my own thing. But
Right.
so that's kind of where the elves ended up being here. I'm like, well, that might be my. I don't know.
No, it all makes perfect sense. You're definitely. This is your largest gathering that you've
Mhm.
been to, and you're definitely seeing now more of the politics, and it certainly makes sense for you to feel like I just had my first year of adulthood. I've done all this cool stuff, and then you roll in, and it's like, okay, like I'm pretty cool in my cohort, like, but I still
Yes.
have a long ways to go, and like being faced with
Yep.
that reality is like, even though you are a skilled horsewoman, a skilled archer, you've done some cool things and fought some real threats, like, yeah, you're
Still,
definitely seeing that there's still a road ahead of you.
yep. Which is good because it'd be really boring if there weren't. But right now, yeah, she's just a little intimidated by it all. Not terribly. She won't fade back or anything like that.
Mhm.
And that's probably part of why I wore the stuff I did, thinking that it might start a conversation where she could
Mhm.
have that. She's probably less likely to initiate a conversation just to initiate one.
Right, makes sense. That makes sense for sure. So as we move into the actual ritual, and there's going
Yep.
to be time. This is because the travel is difficult, because the holy day is important. You usually have some time, a day or two afterwards, right, where people just kind of hang about before they leave again. And if the weather's bad, maybe longer. So you'll still have opportunities to talk to people and stuff after the ritual as well, for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep. So as this ritual starts to go on, like you're getting candles passed out, it's getting fully dark. The stars are appearing in the sky. It is not overcast at all.
Yay.
You can see
We can
everything
see
out
our
there.
star.
Yep. You can see your star. You can see all the stars as they rise. You can see Light 4 making his skip trip through the sun, through the sundom, the sun's path. Light 4 is an odd duck. He cheats. As soon as he gets to the western edge, he skips right back to the eastern edge and starts over without having to pass through the underworld. So he transits the sky twice a day.
Huh.
You
I
can't
didn't even
see
know
him
about him.
during the day,
Yeah.
but he's there. In any event, yeah, you can see all these different stars and things, and as people are forming up into the circle, and then people are kind of jostling for position, there are some of the attendants that are stationed around. So some of your shield maidens and things have some bells that they chime on and chimes, things like that. And people start to chant and sing. And this stuff will go on for a while. Like you're doing when Cenarius and I talked about it, it's like it's new agey, but this is all consciousness raising stuff, right? So you're trying to get closer to the God time, um, by elevating yourself and by calling the goddess down to you as well. So you're trying to thin those barriers and reach out. Like this is a big ritual. It's not a hero quest, right? Like you're not reenacting. Like someone's not going through the
Right.
role of the goddess and redoing the myth. You're just telling the story, but there is a lot of ritual around it. And so the gods do draw close to these things. The god time does get close to you. Like you're not just in the material world fully
That's
either.
good.
It's a liminal space. So you do a lot of music to help with that. That's some of that's just kind of how solar cults tend to work. So you have a lot of
Right.
singing and chanting, and there are bells and other instruments playing. You've all got your like little candles, so everybody's working on that. There are different at times you'll have different attendants will like sing or chant a portion, and then there's like call and response pieces where like they'll call back and forth to each other. Um, and there are different people in different roles. It's all pretty formal. Like, and your as a initiate who's new to this, your role is to be one of the people that handles the general refrains and things. So you don't have a particular um, piece
Of
to do, as it were.
a lead role. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
cool. So this stuff goes on, and a lot of it is it's praise of the light generally, praise of the sky. There's a lot of like invocations to the stars. There's a lot of like descriptions and paeans to Yelorna, of course. Um, and eventually this will kind of settle in so that Colchis and the rune ladies are sort of telling the story, and it's very formal. Like they sing most of it. It's in like heroic meter, so like heroic hexameter, um, like an epic.
Right.
And
Because it is
this
epic.
is because it is an epic. And the story they talk about, and this is something you kind of know some of this, but this is like the first time you've ever really heard it all presented, right? And this is something you can see, like as these stories are being told, like you can kind of see some of it like around you or in the sky. But Yelorna, you know this, right? She had two brothers, Splendid Yamsur and Yamelio. You're familiar with Yamelio because he's still alive. But as war went on, and as things got more and more, as the darkness poured into the sky, as the storm killed Yelm, things got pretty bad, and Yelorna just couldn't stand by, and she couldn't like stand it, so she went off to help keep the light alive in the world when
Right.
most of it had gone out. And so she saw some pretty brutal things. This is all the prologue of the myth. Like she saw Xeroxaron wound Yamelio. She saw Yamsur die, her other brother. And so she
Um,
set out on twin missions. Good.
How did Yamser died?
That's a good question, and you don't know the
Oh,
answer, and neither
okay.
do I. This is Yamsur's not worshipped in any solar
Yep.
religions anymore. His primary role is to be the bright sun who was killed too early in these stories. So like you know that he was special, and you know that he's no longer here. And while Yelorna witnessed it, you know she was there when it happened. You don't know what happened. Maybe something, if you're interested in, we can work on, but it wouldn't be common knowledge in the event. So
She might
the
be curious, but she's not a real scholar, so I don't know.
right,
It's one of those that she's extremely curious about in the moment, but putting the
right.
hard work into sleuthing it out
It's like,
later.
that's really interesting. Neat.
Friend I could put on that.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So what happens here is that Yelorna takes out spear and bow, and she goes on two missions. And these are similar, but her first mission is to try and get the world ready for the light to come back. Like the light, like her core belief here is that the world cannot stay in darkness. Like the stars are still alight, and the sun will return. Like she just knows it has to be true, and she also wants to avenge her wounded and fallen kin. Those are kind of her two motivations. So, in order to start this, she goes through a trio of ritual purifications. And these are detailed at some length. Like she underwent like the purification of the body, purification of the mind, purification of the spirit, right? Her inner light. Like so, she had to go through trials to make herself pure. And you guys will go through like some of that is stuff you would have
Right.
done to get ready for this, right? So like bathing, cleaning your stuff, focusing your mind, all that sort of stuff. Um, but once she had done those things, she ascended into the upper sky, like the top of the sky dome, to talk uh, to meet with the god Dezatar, who's kind of like the god of the light, not the sun, but just
Hmm.
the light, to ask for permission to deliver the stars to the world. And that's kind of was her battle cry. So Dezatar proved this. So she gathered up the stars out of the heavens and flung them to Earth to go to war. So, and that's how she earned her sobriquet of like a Starbringer, right? She is the Starbringer. When the heavens went to war, she was the one who made that call. And so a lot of this ritual is going to be going through like her exploits, and this is her most central myth. It's the like as cool as unicorns are, and she's often pictured in these stories as being astride her unicorn.
Right.
Um, this is her like defining sequence of events. So she went to war. She fought a number of gods. She sought out the meteor bow. She's There's notations where she was healed by Yelorna, or by Chelana Alroy, excuse me, at one point. So she has contact with that deity. She fought Arganagar at one point, but she lost that fight, which
Hmm.
Arganagar. So at large, your general experience as a Tarshite is that Arganagar is the god of trolls who are traders. It's like they're merchants. Yelorna tells you pretty straightforwardly that Arganagar is the god of he's the troll god that conquered the surface world. Like he may be a merchant, but he's also a warlord.
Makes sense.
And so she fought him and lost. She escaped that fight, and so obviously you don't like Organagar very much. Um,
Even though I kind of made friends with some of
you
them.
kind of made friends with that one
Oops.
guy, but well, you that was before this myth, right? You hadn't been to your high holy day yet. No one told you.
I can still make friends.
Yeah, you knew that you didn't like darkness generally. You didn't know that there
Yep.
was specific problems there, and
It's
that's sort of the thing you see. Like she harried Xerox off and on. She never really fully engaged him. She would just kind of, poke at him. She called down Polaris at one point, so the Pole Star, to lead armies. She A lot of clans and tribes have a sequence in their history where they're like, a star captain fell screaming to Earth and he saved our people. That's Yelorna. Yelorna sent them. So every time anyone has that sort of story in their background, like it's like, yeah, my god has saved your clan at some point.
Ah,
So there's a lot of those. Like she leads armies, she sends heroes, she throws stars at people. Like it's all pretty, cool. Like she might not win all her fights, but she's always out there fighting, and she's a lot of like cool apocalyptic imagery and things like, the stars falling from the heavens and smiting the foe and things like that. Like it was a big fight. Eventually, the light loses this fight. That like the world goes dark. The world almost dies. Yelorna fights chaos at that point. And to save the world and herself, she enters into the Great Compromise, where she admits that, yeah, okay, the darkness has a right to exist. At which point she becomes a light in the darkness. So even though she's like, darkness gets to exist, she's always defiant of it, and she's present when Yelm rejoins the world. Like she's there to usher him back into the dawning. So it's kind of your central myth, right? Is this like gloriously cool but horribly desperate battle against the darkness and chaos to try and hold back the end of everything. And one of the core motifs again is that like even though Yelorna's fight was completely necessary, she had to go to war. She also couldn't win it. Like it took other people as well, and that's sort of one of the secrets of all cults, right? Is that at the end of the world, it took everybody. And so that's something that you'll kind of experience there. So one of the things we'll manage here is that this is obviously like a big important myth. Like you are seeing these things in the god time. So you're seeing stars descend. You can see at times Yelorna fighting, you can see the darkness like attacking things, you can see chaos. All things that you're directly experiencing, even though distantly, like right, this like again, this isn't a hero quest, but you're seeing these things. The walls between the worlds are thin in this moment, and you can see a lot of what happened. So one of the things you'll do here, because this is your high holy day, is you'll just roll a power gain check to see like you're seeing all these stories, you're identifying yourselves with them. Do you gain some strength from them? Does this reaffirm you?
ask a question.
Yes, absolutely.
This is purely a mechanical question.
Mhm.
If I were sacrificing now for divine magic,
Yes.
can I do that before I make my POW gain check?
Yeah. Yeah, the timing isn't strict here.
I'm going to sacrifice 2 points, and I'm going to talk to you about which spells.
Okay.
But we can come back around to that if you want. I just wanted to know before. Am I rolling now?
Yeah, go ahead and roll now. So we're doing it now, but your sacrifice is happening here too, right? Like
Yeah.
you're seeing these myths, you're seeing these stories, you're experiencing the presence of the goddess.
Hey,
You're
it
good.
didn't matter. Sacrificing 2 or not, I still made it.
Nice.
Yay.
Okay, so now you can take
1.
1d3 minus 1, or you can take the 1.
I'm going to take the 1 because
Okay.
I'm not feeling lucky. So my
Sensible.
overall power goes down 1.
Yes. Cool. So you learn something from this magic, from the myths that you're being told, and the things you're seeing through this ritual. You also get back a little of what you're sacrificing.
Yep.
So it's cool.
4
So you kind of
rune
have a
points.
positive loop there.
Do you want to talk about the spells at this point?
Yes, we can
or-
definitely do that. So what are you looking at?
Well, I have a couple thoughts. Number
Uh-huh.
1, we have the silver warding,
Right.
and I just closed my book.
So the Star Ward type spell is a 1-point spell that you would learn once, and then if you wanted, like when you cast it, you could boost it up. You could put up to
Right.
4 points in it.
And you said that since summon elemental, I think we can summon elementals. Is that a separate spell I need to learn, or do I just automatic? Or is that just one of the general spells? Do I already know it?
Command is a general spell. Summon is not.
Oh, okay. So summon cult spirit is that separate from the elemental, or is that the elemental one?
It would basically, the cult spirit
Mm-hmm.
is a like catch-all.
Yeah.
So if you had multiple types of spirit you could summon, you would specify those. So
Oh,
for
they would be
you,
different spells.
like yeah, so if you had a cult that could summon elementals and snake daughters, right? Or like they're not a cult. Or if you had the ability to summon various types of nymph, like some of the hunting cults can, those would be separate spells that you learn. But they're all caught under that like summon cult spirit. So for you, you would specify like your cult spirit is a salamander.
Thought I'd
Summon
read somewhere
elemental
before.
91. Page 91 in the Red Book of Magic.
No, I was trying to look at the. I'm still using the RuneQuest 2 alone. Now, when I looked this up, I thought
Okay.
it said she got small salamanders. The other one, as you mentioned, the Starbright, and that's a 2-point spell itself, right?
Yes.
So it would take 2 points to learn it.
Yes.
That seems like an appropriate one for this. So let's do that.
Okay, cool.
So I'll add that on.
Great. So you've picked up the Starbright spell now. So you have this like you can surround yourself in shining starlight that has a bunch of essentially debuffing effects on your opponents.
It also gives me a real bonus against trolls and darkness things.
Yes. Also of note, if you target your Starstone with it, it will last half an hour instead of 15 minutes. So basically, the stone counts as a point of extension for any light spells you cast on it. Starbright is a light type spell.
Well, there you go.
So synergy.
Yeah. Does that work on the silver track? Which is already like all. No, that's already like all night, isn't it?
It lasts all night anyways, and silver track targets the tracks.
Oh,
It targets
so it's
the
not
trail.
star.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's like lantern, light,
Mm-hmm.
this Starbright spell. Those are spells you can cast on the stone, and then they'll last longer.
Cool. Picked up.
Sweet, you're getting all glowy. You're picking up a lot of star spells, which is on theme, so that's good.
Starbright.
So that part happens. The other,
Is there anything worth? Do I need to roll the worship
yes, you
skill
do.
for this?
You will roll worship, Yelorna, and you will see how it does. I don't know that you have any rune points to get back, but you would still want to check that skill for sure.
I do. Is that one I can boost with passion?
Is worship? It's a skill.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Can I
What were
boost
you?
the skill roll with a passion?
Yes, you can also improve it by sacrificing magic points and by making actual like physical sacrifices.
I really don't have anything physically to sacrifice, I don't think.
Silver.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and
Like I said, you can sacrifice.
trying to figure out what would make
magic points,
I was
you're
gonna
going to
try
have to give up 2
2 what? I have to give up 2 magic. Oh, because I
just for doing
yeah.
well, just for being at your holy day. Any magic points you sacrifice above that give you a 10% bonus to your worship skill.
Yeah, I might as well go all out. And like I said, this
Oh,
probably
also,
makes sense just to go ahead.
before we check your devotion again, because it's the high holy day, you get a plus 40% bonus to this skill.
Oh, okay.
So between those things, it should be
I'm
fairly
pretty,
easy to get your points back.
but I still think my devotion to Yelorna, the
If you
passion
want to
there.
check it, feel free. I will not
Yeah,
stop you.
I got a crit on that. I got
Oh,
an
look at that.
02.
Okay.
I must be very moved by the moment.
Yeah, you're really feeling it. Okay, so a crit on a passion. Excuse me. It's an inspiration check. You get a 50% bonus. You will get an
You already
experience
got.
check.
You already got.
Yeah, and it will hang on to that bonus basically for the ritual. So if you had anything else to do worship wise, it would still continue to apply.
Oh, might be moved enough. I mean, it might make sense to be moved enough to try to do something else now
Right.
because she's feeling it.
It would be
So
more
I'm
of a
gonna.
thing where if like in a combat, like they
Mhm.
would stick longer, But for these like one roll type situations, it's just like, oh yeah, you get like 50% bonus. Great.
Well,
Useful.
and I'm going to go ahead and spend. You said how much it was plus 10% for each magic point? It wasn't that high, was it? Was it?
For the magic points,
Yeah.
it's 10% per point over the first 2.
What was that? 1 point?
10% per point magic point after the first
Okay.
2. The first 2 are
Oh.
obligatory. And then like the third point would give you 10, the fourth point would give you 20.
Mhm.
So
Well,
yeah,
she's
it's a
feeling
bonus.
it. I don't think there's any reason to keep the magic points around, is there?
No, not really. Unless you get ambushed the next day. It would be bad.
Well, I do, because my skill is so high off of all that, I do
Right.
get what would be a special.
Okay, cool. So obviously you get to check your worship skill, and you would get quite a few magic points or like rune points back
Right.
if you needed them, but you
I don't.
So yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal. She sacrificed power and gained spells, and it's caught up in the moment.
No, it's perfectly sensible. Cool. All right, so you really go all in on the worship. You really pour your heart and soul out.
Any
Good.
chance it does anything for me with any of the people I'm trying to connect with, or is this all just interpersonal stuff?
It's people would see you sacrificing power, right?
Yep.
And like learning
Yep.
a spell. Like that's the
Yep.
sort of thing that would be very visible. The other stuff, not so much. It would
That's
be just
fine.
part of the general ritual, yeah. So they're definitely
Just
going to be
asking.
aware that like you definitely like reached out
Cool.
for the ability to become more like a star, and that's something that they can see.
That's good. That's good enough.
Which
for
is
me.
cool. Yeah. So that's definitely something that is important and noteworthy, right? So as all this kind of goes, at this point, like as they get done like telling this myth and kind of partially reenacting pieces of it and demonstrating it, and you get to see all that, the next stage of this is that you kind of move to what is like a sacrifice portion. So you don't sacrifice animals or anything. You don't do living sacrifices or food sacrifices. So this is a point where people would, if they haven't been to the temple, so people who come here like once a year, right? Any war trophies that they have, they would dedicate now. Any votives that people want to establish. So a votive is like an object that you donate to the temple, and then it becomes a stand-in for worship. So it makes it a little easier for you to get spell points back. So a few people will do that because they can't, like, you don't probably need to, but people who can't come here often will frequently do that because it helps them regain rune points even when they're far away. So you get a couple of those. People like donate votives, objects, cultic objects. You get people donating trophies they've taken, so spear, shield, sword, broken helmet, stuff like that, that they did while on quests that serve Yelorna's purposes. Essentially, people who don't come here often are also making their silver tithes. So like their income tithes are being paid out. So there's a lot of money involved in this too, just like silver bracelets, silver jewelry of various types, hack silver, silver coinage is all being deposited here, and like people are bringing it up next to the fire and setting it there, like giving it to Colchis. Colchis sets it next to the fire, and there's like just a mound of stuff like being stacked up. It's a lot of wealth for sure.
What happens to all this stuff?
Say again.
Get melted down.
Actually, yeah, a
What
lot of
happens
what
to all this
happens to
stuff?
it is yeah. So a lot of what happens is yes, like the silver will be used to pay temple expenses and things, used to help upkeep like Colchis, right, and her attendants, the shield maidens. Some of it will be used, yeah, melted down to
Yep.
silver armor, to help provide for like the rune level
Right.
people who need magic armor and things. Some of it will be reminted. That's actually a thing your temple can do, is mint stars, which are like a lunar size coin that has like a star burst on one side and like a
Right.
Yelorna bust on the other. Those are a thing that you'll do with them, is just make your own coinage. And then yeah, some of it will be spent on different things. Some of it will just remain as will be fashioned into items just for the temple, like dedicated to the goddess. And I know that I talked to Scenarios about this, and I think you were in that session, but like when things are given to the temple, like they're being sacrificed, and the root of sacrifice is to give it to a god. Like, so once this stuff's been given
Right.
over, it becomes Yelorna's. And then Yelorna will let the
Right.
temple, like by her grace, do a lot of cool things with it, but there is definitely a period where it just belongs to her. And so it gets her protection. So like trying to take it back or steal it. Not that you would do those things is obviously a bad idea.
Right.
But yeah, like that's just kind of part of the deal. So you get a lot of that. You're seeing that. Like people are offering up all these photos and things. You should be mostly current, but this would be when you pay your seasonal tithe,
Yep.
which is kind of baked in, so you don't have to have an amount, but this is when you would do it.
Right.
So you would give any silver or coinage or whatever that you owe would be done now. So you'll contribute to that pile at some point. This is also a point
Yep.
where, so you're not like the Yomelian cult. You can't take like gifts and Giases, because you don't have like the truth rune, but you have this like sky, like purity, devotion type culture. So it's not uncommon for people to swear vows at this time. And so a lot, what you'll get are like initiates and things saying, I'm going to do this thing next year for the cult. And not everybody does that. Like they might go on a quest, or they accomplish an objective, or they, I'm going to go try to get a unicorn as one. Like those are things that happen. So like if you felt moved to swear a vow, you could do that at this time. It is not required. It is optional.
I don't have a good idea that she would
That's
swear.
okay.
I thought of it ahead of time. I might have, but I don't
Sorry,
know.
I did kind of spring that one on you. That is my bad.
That's okay.
We can definitely talk about it. We have some time too. We have time to talk about these things. So these would be things like,
Wouldn't mind her doing it. I just don't know what, because she has a lot of stuff on her plate for the next year, and I don't know if any of them count as specific cult type things.
so cult type things would be bringing light to a place, right? So like finding or aiding a sky cult, or finding a sacred item. Fighting the darkness is always one. So driving back the influence of darkness, destroying like a big elemental or something like that, would be one. Fighting chaos is on the list.
Yay.
And then like cult things, right? So like you could swear yourself, to the service of the temple for a season, which would be like acting like a shield maiden for a season. You could, or a year or whatever. You could swear yourself to do something for Colchis. You could like have her give you something. Like I swear myself on a quest for Colchis or for the temple, and she would assign you a duty at that point. You could, probably too early. Like my gut instinct here is that you're not really ready to start seriously pursuing a unicorn, like
Nope.
at this moment. So we're not going to make that oath, I don't think.
Nope.
But those are the sorts of things you would swear to. And again,
Right.
if you don't have anything, that's totally fine. Like
I think I will forego it now because nothing strikes me as really being directly about her.
the only thing
nothing. If
that
you have
I
an
would
idea.
suggest, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
to do this, but the one
Yeah.
thing that would kind of pop up in my mind is you could dedicate, like you're going to go help the elves in fire season.
Yeah, just
You could dedicate that to Yelorna, like
Okay.
to the temple. And so what you would do is you would forego any of your monetary rewards to give to the temple instead. So you would do it in service to the temple. So instead of getting anything out of it, you would have helped the temple, and that would give you some reputation, basically.
The only downside to it is that means anything the elves give me is not mine. It goes to the temple, and I lose what I get from the elves. But do I still get the influence?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to play two sides, but I feel like the elves themselves we're elf friends. No, I'd do that. I'd dedicate the fire season aid to the elves to Yelorna.
Okay, makes sense. Cool. So you would swear that vow. That gets you some.
Yep.
Makes the elves happy. It makes some of the people there are like impressed or pleased by this. Cultist is pleased by it.
It also
both the rune
fits the
ladies
fact
take
I've
some of
been
that,
trying.
So
Yeah, I say since I've been trying to hang out with the elves, I guess it makes sense that kind of she was moved to do that. Oh, cool! And then the rune ladies. Also, it feels like I rolled that super good roll for worship. Like she's kind of all caught up on things beyond the way she would normally be, and
right.
she's already
So she's
really
like, yeah, I'm gonna
dedicated. Yeah, I mean, I was resisting.
swear
I'm
my
gonna
vow. Like, yeah,
go off and kill such and such a dart troll or something like that. Man, I might kill one,
right,
but
right.
nobody
No,
that I would know the name of.
right. No, I get you. Yeah, I wasn't like definitely not
Yep.
trying to push you that direction. It's just the only
No.
thing I could think of that would really would be available.
I'd already thought of it, and I just
so-
didn't know if it would count. So I like that. I like it. Let's go for it because we're going to do it anyway. And that way we can go, yes, I'm going to do this.
cool.
The name of my temple.
Awesome. There you go. So you swear your vow to dedicate your service to the elves to Yelorna in fire season. Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Makes sense. Good. All right. And then, like I said, that does get you some, like, the elves are pleased, Couchess is pleased, the rune ladies take note. Like,
Yay.
it is kind of a moment for you, for sure.
Good.
Cool. Good work. No, that's good. As these things are going on, and other initiates are dedicating certain things, like I'll go tend a shrine. That's the sort of thing that people would do too, is say I'll go travel here and make sure the shrine is in good order because you don't have enough priests to cover all this.
Right.
So you get some people swearing those sorts of things. Nobody declares to try for a unicorn like that hero quest or anything this year. It's uncommon. Most people never really get there.
I guess
It's easier to
like
become a
I'm
rune
nowhere.
level.
I feel like I'm nowhere near to the level of power and investment that she should be before she does that. It doesn't feel to
Makes
me
sense.
like she's earned it. Like, it doesn't feel to her like she's earned the right to do that.
That makes sense. I will note mechanically, you do not have to be a rune level to be a unicorn rider, but feel free. Do not feel compelled to do it beforehand either. Like it's totally up to you.
Yep, I'm not in any rush to do it from a. That's a big thing up there down the road.
Yep, absolutely makes
Maybe
sense.
next year.
So as these sorts of oaths and vows and sacrifices and votives are being finished, people sort of push you towards, like, you kind of get drifted into and start being organized, sort of nudged by the attendants and by Calchas into some like meditation and contemplation. So you get to spend some time like staring at the stars and thinking over. You think over the year that you've had, the battles and struggles that you've won. You start looking ahead to next year as well, to the fights that are still needing to be had, to things you need to do. And this is like a good time to, like, for instance, you're really thinking about, I made this vow, I feel close to the goddess, I do not feel ready to seek out a unicorn. This is a good time, like, your character would be encouraged to think about, like, what do I need to do, right? Like what aspects of my character do I need to improve? What do I need to work on, like, purifying myself with? Where do I need to become more holy or sacred, or however you want to put it, more pure, more rarefied? Like, this would be a good place for her to kind of think about, like, what are some things I want to work on as a person.
Yep. Personal reflection.
Yeah, you have plenty of time for that as you're staring up at the stars.
Interesting. The one thing I'm keep coming back to her, she has some guilt over killing those two people in her raid, even though it was part of it.
No, that makes perfect sense. I like that she's like, I'm young, I went out and I killed some people and I feel bad about it. So the question is, how does she want to approach that? Like, does she want to, like, obviously she's not backing down and being a warrior, right?
Yep.
So she's not like, I don't want to hurt, like, I don't want to fight. Like, that's not where she's going with that. So what is her, where would you say her struggle is? Like, how is she like trying to?
Because they were basically farmers, They weren't
Mhm,
really
yeah,
worthy foes, and she should have been able to defeat them without killing them, in her mind. Or she should become good enough that somebody like that she can defeat without killing them. Does that make sense?
absolutely, yeah. No,
Like,
that's interesting.
granted,
Um,
we have a system that's not. She's not going pacifistic or anything. She's just like they were just farmers. We pushed them off their land
right.
over a feud. She's feeling the same way. Remember, she hates Orbalas from the next door, but she doesn't really want to kill
Right.
him. She just wants to remove him from power so they have a better leader, and she thinks they'll be a better clan and better people. Unfortunately, she's in a hard position because she's not the background maneuvering sort to do that. So
Right.
she's kind of stuck. It's an internal struggle that she doesn't really want to kill, but she wants to be a warrior, and she will continually throw herself in places where death is an outcome. But she has to go purify herself afterwards and cleanse herself because it lingers on her.
No, that makes sense. She would prefer victory to the killing, basically.
And
Like,
she's not
she wants to
bothered
win these
killing.
fights.
She will kill stuff for food. She's not bothered by killing monsters,
Mhm.
but those were two humans in the clan next door. They were not. They're us.
Makes sense. Okay. Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
she's struggling
I just
some
think
with
it's
the
kind of fun to
identity.
play that and not go, "Oh yeah, I'm just a heartless killer." It's like, yeah, she doesn't really.
No, absolutely, it makes perfect sense. And so, yeah, that's part of her push. So as she's doing the self-reflection, she's kind of thinking like, I need to learn and get better so that I can fight without killing when I'm not like I should be able to beat people without killing them.
I
Like
should be
at
able to
least like
beat
right,
non warriors
right,
without killing
non-warriors.
them.
Like
And maybe it was overkill to go straight for, even though she did in the moment, because she didn't think she was concerned about everything, and she probably would again, and then would feel guilty about it.
right. No, I get you. Right. No, I that's perfectly reasonable. I think that makes a lot of sense. It's interesting for sure that she's looking
And
at it going like
she
I
feels
should
no guilt at all about the Tusk Riders, though.
right, absolutely. No, and she shouldn't. They're terrible. They're awful. So no, that makes sense. So she's kind of looking at it as like I should have enough perfection in what I'm doing that I can wield these weapons
Mm.
without having to kill like everything I draw a blade on. Like I should
Right.
have options. Yeah.
Yep.
Like if I have to go for the killing stroke, I wasn't good enough to choose something else.
And,
Like
maybe if I, and maybe, something like that, even. Maybe I don't have to go for the all out fire magic on the first attack.
right, like let things escalate a little, like see if they
I mean, at the time, she didn't expect. She was concerned about getting killed, and she, like I
right.
said, she'll probably revert to that in the moment.
Yes, but you'll try. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. So you're struggling with some guilt, and you're looking at that as a chance to try to control or work past that guilt by improving your skill and your like assessment, essentially, um,
Yep.
to make better choices. And we'll see how that pans out for you next year. So exciting. No, that's cool. I like that. It's interesting. I think you're both of you, I think, have had your characters do some things you weren't anticipating, and I think that's interesting. So good times. All right, so you have some time here to kind of wind down. You're doing this contemplation, sort of grounding. So like the God time is like pulling away, right? Like the barriers between the worlds are starting to get thicker again. And
Mm-hmm.
then as dawn comes up, that's sort of your like as the sun comes up, right? You've kind of gone through this whole process, and you're able to just like the ceremony is finished at that point. So the sun is back. Yelorna has won her fight, right? The dawn has happened. The
Yep.
sun is back in the sky, like, and so you can kind of leave this event. And like we were talking about, for several days, there are still going to be quite a few people here. Some people will leave immediately, but not most. Like most people are going to stay around and socialize. This is one of the few times when a substantial chunk of the cult is together, and so people will kind of stick around in order to talk and
Okay.
work out
I,
objectives and things like that. So
I have stuff I'd like to do during that time.
absolutely.
If you're okay, I'm going to start because I kind of hung out with the elves here, Starleaf,
Mhm.
and just tried to make a final connection with them and invite them, if they are ever in the area, to stop by again. I mean, obviously, they can stop at the temple anytime they want. Just kind of extend that, I live here. This is my clan, my human clan, and they will always be welcome here. Trying
Cool.
to make
Yeah.
more
No, Starleaf
friends.
likes you. Like Starleaf likes you. You're feeling good about that connection for sure. So
I don't
she
know
accepts
if they
that.
have any connection to the. Sorry,
No, go for
I
it.
don't. Yeah, I don't know if she has any connection to the elves we've been helping, but in fact, some ways it might be better if she's not. Then we have two groups of elf friends. But
She's she's also from the stinking woods.
And
Um,
just kind of.
but
So I made that declaration. I will make sure at some point to try to tell. Well, I guess I already have to give her the whole story of what happened there because it was pretty impressive. I thought.
right, yeah, no, it was. You guys
We did
won a good
well.
victory there. You did well there, for sure. So yeah, no, and she's interested, and she again, this would be a good time to try to roll Elf Insight again as you're having a different conversation
Okay.
about a similar topic, but with some slightly different.
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Just see if you can learn anything. Your Elf Insight is very poor. Elves are very
No.
alien, and you haven't spent that much time around them.
Nope. I rolled a
Okay,
50.
cool. So again,
if I
okay.
was one of those guys who tried to flip my 2 10s, no, I won't do that though.
Right. Nice. So, okay, so basically, again, like you do get the sense that she likes you,
Yep.
which is good. She is interested in visiting with you next time she's here. You definitely can use her name if you're around other elves. Like, I
Okay.
know this person, like that's all fine and dandy. You're just but you're not really able to read, like, she's just like
She's
literally
still.
made of wood. She can be
Yep.
difficult to read at times, and you have kind of trouble. Like, she
Right.
tells, like, she says, "I like you. You seem nice. You can tell other elves about me." Like, you're getting all that, but you're having trouble getting anything under that surface level. Like, it's hard to reach deep.
That's fine. She's very alien to me. I
Yeah,
like the
for sure.
elves, but they're also alien.
She can't really like smile or frown.
Right.
She doesn't have that level of facial control. So there's a lot of posture and stuff that you really can't notice. You feel like she's being sincere with you throughout, but you're just not able to get anything subtext or additional info.
Right.
So there's that. Otherwise,
well,
yeah, she's good.
I want. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say
No,
I'm
you're
gonna go
good.
through all of those people here, so this is my time to connect.
Right.
I am going to
friends,
attempt again to to somehow get a little conversation with Ala the Silver. I'm still intimidated by her
Right.
though, so I'm not sure how she's kind of overcome her reticence. She wants to be noticed and talked to without having to initiate the conversation, but I don't know if that will happen.
Right. She's like, look at me.
I'm
Notice
sorry.
me someday. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be tough to get her to approach you.
I will try. I'm going to work up my nerve and try to approach her.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to use a passion to push myself. That also add to the skill, really.
All right.
It's probably going to be my, you know what? Okay, I'm hunting for a check. I don't know. I was going to use the temple one because I'm kind of trying to use this way to leverage myself up, but I don't know. If that's okay. If not, I'll use my devotion to Yelorna.
What was the first one you mentioned?
The temple loyalty as a passion.
That one would make sense.
Attempt
She's
to
a
connect.
functioning, like,
Okay.
yeah, member of the temple, and you're trying to build those ties.
Well, attempting to min-max didn't work. I wasn't able to tap into that.
Did you
Does
fail?
a failure doesn't do anything negative, does it?
Let me find out
Or
here.
does it? Yeah.
I apologize. I'm still
I rolled
not. We
a
don't
9.
use these that often. They are
I know. We
important,
need to do it more.
and we should do it more.
And I should look
usually
it up so I know the rule.
when I tell you guys to do it, like if I remember to remind you, you guys are usually cool with it and want to, but we often don't think about it.
It's a new rule in this edition.
For sure.
I like
so
it.
On a failure, you lose just 10% on the roll.
I lose 10%.
10%
that might be half my skill.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
it's tough. So you try to push loyalty, and apparently it
communication.
just makes you more nervous. Like,
Yep.
like as you're like
That makes
trying to
sense.
like channel this like feeling of connection and stuff, you're like, oh no, this is too important.
Yeah. And I think I'm just gonna go kind of for the what is speak?
Speak. It's just your ability to speak the language. Yeah. Like speak Tarshite, speak Fire Speech, speak Trade Talk.
So that's just a generic skill that's kind of hanging out there after I put all the others in.
Yeah, it looks
I'm
like
gonna
you just
try
have an empty language there. So
I'm just gonna try an orate, basically.
Okay, cool. So you
just try to talk to her and try to get going and see. And well, at least my other failure didn't change the outcome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just fail. I stumble around a bit and am uncomfortable around her, but try.
Right, you're able to make contact, so you do talk to her, and she
Yeah.
seems like a very genuinely, honestly, a pretty nice, courteous person, right? Like,
Yep.
and you don't, again, you didn't fumble or anything. You don't
I
embarrass yourself.
basically I just fangirl all over to the point
Yeah,
of
you
being
get a little
awkward.
like you're a little starstruck, right? Like,
Yep.
funny, and you just you make
Yeah.
pleasantries, and you don't really get past the pleasantries. So like, you've talked to her now, you've met
But it's
her,
a
she has
first.
met you, so that's
Okay.
the thing that happens.
Well, we've
So
met at least.
yeah, there you go. You got past that first initial awkward, weird, nonsense stuff. Good for you. Um,
Then I'm going to try to meet Starlady Janella and see if that goes somewhere. And I'm going to pull on Marina.
right. To
Is that her name?
help. Yeah, Marina. Yeah.
Yeah, which would seem to me to be pulling on my clan. Is she clan or tribe? She's clan. On my clan loyalty.
On your clan loyalty. Okay, you're really fishing
Yeah.
these today. Go ahead.
Well, I didn't actually succeed in my temple loyalty,
True.
so
True.
I'm trying to play around with them a bit,
No,
honestly.
absolutely. I totally get it. Yeah. So you're gonna lean on your clan connections.
And I got a special success on that,
Oh,
if that
nice.
does anything more than a normal success.
It does. So let me grab the book real quick again. So your inspiration on special gives you a plus 30% bonus,
All right.
which
So
is substantial. So she introduces the two of you, and she sticks around to help mediate the conversation, like to be the bridge between the two of you, and that helps you substantially because she knows
see if
both
I
of you, and she
succeed.
can help direct you towards common interests and things.
What was my bonus? 30? 35.
30,
30?
yeah, plus 30.
Oh, I'm good. I was going to use charm on this one, actually. I don't know why I picked it, but I went for charm since we're just talking.
Charm is probably the more
I
reasonable.
made it.
Nice, look at that.
I made it
So
by 1%.
you get there, and that's all that matters. So cool. Okay, so charm is, warmth of personality, flattery, the ability to
Yeah.
talk to people. It can involve seduction or physical attraction. It is not all required to.
Yeah, I'm not going for that.
It is the skill for trying to
She's
get
too
people
old
to
for
like
me.
you, to bargain, right? Bargaining, haggling, talking to people, getting them to do a certain thing sometimes, getting them to like you. That's all kind of a charm thing. So yeah, that
Yep.
goes well for you. Like with
Good.
with the help of a friend who can
Yep.
sort
I'm a
of
clan
keep,
member.
yeah, a clan member that you know who's in the same cult. She knows obviously Janella very well. She knows you
Yep.
less well, but she still knows you, and she helps like make it a three-sided conversation where she can sort of direct you towards things you have in common or cut off avenues so that you don't step on any thorny issues or just say something that you shouldn't. That's
Excellent.
awkward or whatever. And she can help you if you mess up. She can help you recover as well. So
Yep.
like,
And apparently from my role, she did a
right?
lot.
Yes.
But she kept it going.
She for whatever reason she wanted this to work, and she made it work.
She's just a good person. She's friendly too.
Yeah, she helps you out. So yeah, so you're able to talk to Janella. Janella is from Southern Sarder, right? So she has an accent for sure. She speaks Sarderite primarily, and Southern Sarder is where there's now a Sundom Temple.
Okay.
That's gone up fairly recently, and so she's from that area. And so she's kind of interested about differing customs and things. Like you guys have the Sundom Temple have had one for a long time. Hers is fairly new, and that's kind of an area where you can pretty safely chat about things. And yeah, so she's not a unicorn rider. She does have like a nice horse, like a pretty good horse, like
Yeah.
that you've seen, like a very like high quality, well bred, well taken care of animal.
Right.
She's a pretty good fighter. She spends a lot of time sort of out on errantry basically, so she goes out and like fights darkness demons and stuff quite a bit. Like she gets together little bands of initiates and goes out and like smites the darkness.
Neat.
Yeah, usually not
impressed.
trolls so much, but just underworld related things. So darkness demons, dark hounds, rogue elementals, stuff of that nature.
Okay. That's cool. They're mostly stationed further south of us in Sardar too. Anyways.
Yes, yeah, she's from that
Aren't
area
they?
and she tends to spend her time in the southern half of Starter. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so you're able to cast a wide net there. You've got a number of different people.
Yep. And one last one. I'm gonna make sure to spend some time with Harsta. The one she's in the city of Aldatur.
Right.
Having an older connection in the city closest to us that we're connected with. You said she's fun to be around and feisty.
Yep.
She seems like a really good connection and someone that's a little more on my own level, so I can, even if she's quite a bit older than me,
She's quite a bit older than you, but yeah, she's probably a little
still
more
more of a peer.
Yeah, her and Marina would both be like that. They're like older initiates, but they're still peers.
Yeah. Well, most people are never going to go beyond initiate.
Right. Correct.
It's kind of a player character and special NPC thing to want to do that.
Yes.
Or to do that, anyways, to have the dedication. Yeah. So I don't know if there's anything I need to roll
You don't
for her.
need to roll to make friends with her. She makes friends with people pretty easily on her own. So yeah, she's
I
happy to meet
mostly
you.
want to connect. So when, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I mostly want to make connections so that we're now sure I've got that connection that I can draw on and pull that we didn't have before. And of course, we're not very far, so that might we might have a shared adventure. And I'm also thinking next year, since I dedicated our aid to the elves to Yelorna, that I might want to take another Yelorna initiate or two with me if depending on how things work out.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, so she's pretty fun, pretty easy to talk to. You guys trade stories about the fights you've had and things you've seen, and even just stuff about the like. She's fairly interested in the war because it's local politics for her. Like, so it's
our war we were in that
yes.
I'm trying to reconcile.
Yes.
Actually, that'd be a good time. Yeah, we could talk about that. Talk about the getting the dragon bone and the.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd want to do that everywhere else, but probably more relaxed with her.
Right.
Meeting the dwarf. It's pretty good. I don't know. Pretty good first year set of accomplishments. She's feeling good about herself.
For sure, yeah. And you swore. I mean, those things are impressive. Like, she's lived here her whole life, so she knows like what that's. The dwarf isn't someone that many people meet. The skull ruin is kind of a local legend of like stay away from it, it's haunted sort of deal. Like, so yeah, it's definitely impressive. Like, she knows enough about these local landmarks to be impressed and to kind of understand like what it involved. Excuse me. Cool. All right. Is there anyone else you're wanting to talk to?
I don't think so. I mean, I think I talked to everybody. I'm trying to remember. Yarla, I talk to on a regular basis, so I assume we.
Right.
Bera, the initiate from the slave ball, I already talked to.
Yes.
She knows my brother.
I'd heard of your brother. It would be probably.
Oh, heard of.
Yeah.
I feel I'm okay moving on from the whole.
Excellent. Okay.
Because I think you wanted to finish Dark Season tonight.
Yeah, right? We just have to do some rolls and stuff, and maybe a little bit of
No.
like, are you doing anything special in Dark Time? So,
right.
The first checks for your Holy Day skill checks.
Yes.
Obviously you succeeded at worship, so you would get to check your worship.
I got worship, I got devotion, I got insight humans, and I got charm. So I actually did several.
Right, and then we're gonna add to that.
Yes.
We're gonna add your cult lore for Yelorna, because you just learned a big central myth for her. You've been through it once, so you know more about it. You're also gonna pick up the lore celestial.
Is that a separate one?
Yes. This is your knowledge of the stars and the heavens. You can use them. One of the key things you use celestial lore for is like timekeeping, right? Like the movement of the stars helps you keep track of the seasons. The other thing you use it for is that the movement of the stars and how they interact with each other can help you get omens to learn a little bit about like maybe something that's going to happen in the future or something like that. It's something that you get access to because you have strong star connections. So you would be able to just check those for free. As part of Dark,
do I just start at a base percentage for? Do I just start at a base percentage for celestial, or is that just like
you don't already have
5% base, or?
Yeah, you would pick it up at 5%.
So that's what I get, but no check.
Right, you would just get the skill at 5%.
Okay,
cool. And then you would pick, since we're going into the downtime, like occupational role, you would pick 4 skills that are not on this list of skills you've already checked that come from your cult and your occupation, with a total of 4.
Let me see.
And so for the celestial lore too, one of the things that happened is that you learn the names of a lot of stars in the sky and where they are as part of that myth.
Yep.
So you just have like a basic grounding in the stars that goes beyond. I can see the star that represents my deity, which most people can do. No. All right, I know that you're hungry. Give it 5 minutes.
I mean, there's a lot of these. I guess it's darkness season. I'm trying to think what I would be doing during darkness season. Out of curiosity,
No. Go
how do
sit.
you increase runes?
That's mostly by using
Don't
them,
worry about it.
like to augment things. That's the easiest way to increase them.
And those are things I can use to augment stuff pretty easily. More when it didn't really make sense tonight, but like if I were gonna,
Yeah, using
some
them
of
as
those are like,
augments will help.
yeah,
The other thing you can do is as your downtime action, right? You can train them. So this isn't an
right.
occupational check. It would be I spend this season learning how to do this thing, and that would cost money.
Well, my occupation. I'm just trying to figure out what my occupational checks would be
Okay.
during dark season. That's kind of.
Um,
I mean,
we kind of established that you were spending time on patrol for part of this and helping at the temple. So any of your like ride, if you have a perception skill out of your culture lore or culture occupation, your weapon skills would be appropriate for training, except for
yeah,
bow,
I
'cause
could.
I
Those are
don't
just
think you
kind
can
of
train your bow.
stereotypical. So I was kind of looking around. I'm going to do some of my perception ones. I'm also going to assume that even while we're there, it's winter. I'm doing hunting and stuff during the winter to supplement.
Right.
If that's okay.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
a bit
That
of
makes
it on the
perfect sense.
side, but gives me an excuse to check a few things that are down there that
So your occupational skills for like cavalry are ride, listen, sing, scan, battle, any of your weapons that are associated with that career, first aid, and like literally any other weapon. So
I'm gonna do. And now rote check next. I don't know why I want rote check next to those skills. I should just go through and check each thing on here.
as you go, right? Okay.
Yeah. Should I just go and do it now? Or do you want to do other stuff? I can do it after we're off too.
It's
But you
it's
go
up
do
to
it.
you. We can roll it now if you're quick, or
It's up to
we
you.
can move on. It's up to you. Okay,
Yeah.
let's
I will go ahead and roll. And do we increase
go ahead.
by it's 1d6.
Ask me all these difficult questions today. Between adventures, it should just be a 6. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, either
my
a D6 or a 3. Yeah.
my devotion to my cult went up by 6, and that actually seems very thematic.
Yes.
However, my charm, despite everything, I guess because I got so much help, it went up by 1.
So that went up a tiny bit.
A big 1%. Cult or went up by 3. Why advantage to picking things that I'm not great at?
Mm-hmm. They improve. Yeah.
Worship. Inside. Practice one-handed spear, which apparently is still not paying off.
One of these days, it has to. Just
I'm struggling with the one-handed spear. The world is giving me indication. Oops, insight went up.
okay. Good.
And let's see if these others go up. Scan did not. Track barely did, despite being an 11. Hold on. 13. Hide. Improving. Not great, but I'm improving. I think I got everything done. So I improved about 4 skills and then my 1 passion. My devotion to Yelorna has gained quite high.
That's good.
Which seems appropriate. Okay.
Okay, so we have like 3 things to cover here.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing we want to cover, and the answer to this can be nothing. You don't have, but if you have something you want to do, is there anything you want to do during dark season? This is a time when you're not traveling a lot. There isn't a lot of call for you outside of your usual duties. So it's a good time to like do a training project or another project. But it's also okay if you don't have anything you want to do.
If I could do training during dark season, I wouldn't mind training a skill or 2.
You can pick one thing to train. It
Okay.
is one skill. It's not like RuneQuest 2 where it's by hours. It's just if you train, you have a
Yeah.
season of training and you train
Okay.
one thing. Which makes me sad because I exploited those rules relentlessly with one of my characters. That one time I was like, if I'm not doing anything, I am training constantly. He got quite competent at many things.
Yeah.
All right. So the way this works is if you want to train a skill, you need to find someone with a higher percentage in it than you to train you. If you want to improve a rune, you have to go to the temple and be instructed by the priest.
Let's train a rune.
Okay, there is a cost involved in this.
And I have a question.
Mhm.
I have 3 runes here. elemental runes, right?
Yes.
And it seems like those would be the ones to train. And my fire sky is 95, so I doubt that's available for training. Earth is 30, which doesn't seem like the one I would be spending a lot of time training anyway. But moon?
To train your moon rune, you would need to go to a lunar temple.
Okay, then I will not be doing that because I'm
because that is the temple that has a lunar temple would have the moon rune.
Okay,
fair. So like the Yelorna cult would offer you training in fire and death.
Yeah. Do I need to take I don't think I want to take my death any higher, do I? Or do I need to eventually?
You don't need to. Your fire rune is so high it covers your I need a good rune.
Yeah. Ability. And I don't see that I don't know that I can even trade a rune that's that high. No skill couldn't, but I don't know that I need to.
Okay.
It's pretty high.
It is pretty high.
Well,
usually you can't train something above 75.
My new skills were that way.
Yeah, the runes are the same way.
Okay.
It looks like some skills cannot be checked for experience, and you can train those above 75. So, like, read write.
Yep.
You can just learn it. Otherwise, you could learn a cult skill, right? You could learn a spirit magic spell.
Yeah, I thought about that. I could learn a spell. I don't have a lot of money, though.
That's true.
I got 73 lunars, and I think I was going to try to travel into Altature and see if I could learn, because I don't think I can learn it here. Learn some like a protection spell or something, maybe.
Yeah, you'd have to travel for that.
Let's train Yelorna cult lore.
Your cult lore? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's a cult skill, so you'll pay half the price for it.
Okay, I'm currently at 43% base.
Okay, so let me look at my little table here. This is what I would consider a professional skill. So it would usually cost 60 lunars. It costs half that. So it'll cost 30 lunars.
I can afford that. Okay, I will subtract the 30.
Okay, so the way you do this is you spend the season when you're not doing your daily stuff. You spend the season just training. You're at the temple. You're getting instruction in lore. You're spending a lot of time with Kalchis.
Yep.
And getting to know her, and she is giving you instruction on the cult. So what you can do is you can choose to either add 1d6 minus 1 or 2%. Just there's no check. It happens.
Yep. I got to roll for it because my percentages are higher, but I rolled. I guess I rolled a 4, so I get 3.
Okay, cool. Good. Cool. So you add 3% to that skill. It should be a knowledge skill.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have the lore.
No, I do.
Okay.
When I opened it to edit,
I understand.
I was struggling to find it in the edit after the little column deal in the other. I got it.
Cool.
I improved by 3%. Yay, that was worth it.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that got done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and choose downtime skills for storm season. So your occupational and cult skills again. This may benefit you a little bit because we're going to play through storm season, so you might end up checking some skills you picked. We are not tracking that. That's too much paperwork. We're just going to go ahead and do this part of it now. That way we can focus the next session on the fair and sacred time and the wedding, which is part of the fair.
Okay. So we go ahead and pick
another 4 skills.
Which skills?
4 skills. Any 4 from your cult and occupation.
I'll go ahead and pretty much do what I did last time, I think.
Makes sense.
Can I do a worship check?
Can you check it? Yeah. It's cult skill.
Yay. Okay, 1 add spear. Last time I rolled what would have been a pill attack, and this time I rolled what would have been a crit attack. That's all right. I think the world is telling me. I decided to go for low hanging fruit after that, and go after both hide and track, which I both made because I'm really bad at them.
They're low, yeah. So
they're low. Not really bad. I've improved them twice.
Yeah, they're getting better. You're not going to be terrible at these things forever, and I have seen. I mean, we have played a lot of RuneQuest.
Yes.
And I have read a lot of RuneQuest campaigns, like actual plays and summaries and things. Yep. And it is very rare to have a character who is any good at stealth.
Hard.
Well, the problem is that there's a negative loop where you're bad at it, so you don't want to attempt it.
Yep.
You just forego stealth because you know you're going to fail. But then you're not taking the risks you need to get skill checks in it. And
Yep.
also, you know, you're not wanting to pay to train it because you're bad at it. And so it's like, I don't want to spend the next year getting this up to decent when I could be pushing skills I'm already decent at into good or very good. It's really hard for people to lean into the stealth stuff.
It also helps that I'm not a big person, so I can be stealthy. Now, grant you, I'm on a horse most of the time, so my stealthiness is probably capped by a horse. But
Right.
horses not known for their stealth.
Those are not very sneaky
So
as a rule. It's true. Cool. All right. So the last thing would be, do you still have some rolls to make?
nope.
Okay.
All I did was my 4.
Right. Got it. Okay.
Um,
So the last thing to do would be, if there's anything, we're going to have an adventure, like a big adventure during storm season. So if there's anything you wanted to like purchase as far as a piece of armor or weapon, something like
I've got
that,
43 lunars. I don't think I can purchase anything.
that's absolutely fine. I just
that.
wanted to float it.
That does bring up a question. What does it cost me to buy better armor at some point?
Armor gets pretty expensive, unfortunately. We'll look at the table real quick for you. So armor is in combat, not in equipment.
Of course.
Just so we're clear, because that makes sense. So you have a lot of like, a full helm, which is like a heavy plate helm, is 50 lunars, right?
And
for
I've already
bronze.
got it.
Yeah.
Decent. I've already got a bronze open helm. I have linothorax,
Yes.
greaves and van braces that are the whatever the oil treated leather is.
Yeah, it would be
What
pretty
page are you
expensive
in
to push much past what you currently have. Definitely a savings goal.
Yeah.
The weapons and equipment has more stuff in it, but not necessarily cheaper stuff in it.
Points, armor types, there we go, 215. I just wanted to look for myself. I really don't have a lot. I've got 43 lunars, and it's probably just more in the spending money.
Yeah, I'd probably hang on to the cash for now. It's probably more useful as a thing you're holding.
I mean, I can't even afford to replace my current armor.
Right. So yeah, maybe we just hold on to that cash for now.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well,
I'm gonna do that.
I think we're pretty much wrapped up. Is there anything else you want to add? Any positive, negative?
Nope. No, I had fun with it. It was cool. It was a very interesting night. Kind of interesting how the roles drove her to between the different people.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's fun to watch these sorts of emergent things where it's like, what exactly are you going to do? How is it going to go out? It was a little less high drama, I think, than Scenarios is, but I knew that going in, this was going to be more of like a social, positive, like fun experience for Kathea. Like
I wasn't trying to leave the cult I dedicated my entire life to a year ago.
Exactly. Well, half of it. Yeah, so.
I did in the wiki. I created a whole Yelorna temple group with the names. You might double check my spellings.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll go through and make sure I add if I need to add some notes and things.
Though I don't believe I'm illiterate anyway. I could learn to read and write over the. Yeah, maybe I should learn to read and write over dark season.
Literacy is undervalued, I find.
Next year, maybe.
Next year. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, if we're good, then we're a little over time.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll wrap it up, and
sounds great.
Next episode, we will head into storm season proper. We'll do the fair and the wedding, and hopefully get into sacred time and wrap this year up. But we might. I don't know. That's pretty ambitious. We'll see how it goes.
No, sounds great.
Cool. All right. I'll catch you then.
Okay.